Our visual designer likes to have a little bit of fun. So this is something that we're calling Boss, and this is the developer side. So what is it about? Basically, if you want to be one of the top search players, if you want to be a principal in search, it's a huge investment. I mean, you're looking at a multi-$100 million investment in people, hardware, technology, infrastructure, operational, you name it. It's a very serious investment. You can try it, and a lot of people do, and a lot of it sucks. And that's just the reality. It's fun for a while, but when you try to really, really use those search experiences for your day-to-day search, you quickly find that what seems fun and useful isn't. It's not relevant, it's not giving you the results you're looking for, it's not fast enough, it's down, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a ton of technology and deep science behind what it takes to do search, all the way from getting the query to indexing the content to ranking it, you name it. This is just a little bit of what it takes to actually build a search experience. But the reality is search is really hard. So what we've done is basically said that no matter where you are on the web, and this is web search experiences, these are vertical search experiences, these are experiences where you just need data that's been pulled from a relevant index based on what the user's looking for. We want it to be relevant, we want it to be comprehensive, and very importantly, it needs to be fresh, because stale data is almost useless. And we'd like it to be well presented, and that's the challenge for a lot of folks as designers here to know. How many of you have heard about this? This is an incredible landmark. This happened about, was it 2 weeks ago? There was a guy who had access to the Boss APIs and said, I wonder how quickly I can build a search engine. A real, highly functioning, highly relevant, scalable, performant search engine with revenue.
Tell the real story.
My legal advisors have told me I can't tell the story. But basically, I can let me allude to it. So somebody was, let's just say, surprised at the amount of press that a certain recent search engine was getting. That we were thinking, wow, that's just not that great for the investment that search engine's had. He said, I wonder if I could build that same search experience using Boss, using APIs. He built it one night in 4 hours. Very good. He built it in 4 hours. And it's amazing. You should go try it. It's actually a 4-hour search. It works. It's good. It's real. This is the full Yahoo index, the full web index, at scale, with monetization working. He actually made revenue from that first week. He was really happy about that. But he's rebranded it now at the behest of our lawyer. It's now a 4-hour search. So go play with it. Get a question.
How does the Golden Gate Bridge get money out of George Washington?
You'd be surprised. Maybe our friends at eBay can explain how they're selling the Golden Gate Bridge. But,
Okay.
all right. So just to show you that Boss isn't entirely intended just for somebody who wants to be a web search player. This is actually access to everything that we have. This is access to our web index. It's access to our image index. It's access to our video search. It's access to our technologies, like spelling correction. And that may seem simple. Try to build a really good spelling correction technology. Good 4 hours. This is essentially somebody who said, I'd like to be able to augment my search experience on this destination with fresh content coming from the web, fresh images for the players, you name it. A good example, if you go up to Yahoo Image Search today, we have fresh images coming from the Olympics right now. They're coming in a matter of minutes and hours. So for somebody who wants to be a serious player in this space, in the sports space, having access to that technology makes their destination that much more valuable.
One other thing that might be worth sharing, in terms of putting Boss in perspective, Yahoo did have a API previously. Google also has an API, but both are fairly limited. You certainly can't build anything at scale with it. They have very extreme limits in terms of their usage. They have extreme limits in terms of presentation. You cannot change the presentation. There are constraints in terms of attribution, showing where the source is coming from, and you certainly can't reorder or change the results in any significant way. All of those constraints have been lifted with BOSS, and the goal, as we said, is to really open this up for innovation in the search space.
That's a good point. This is live. You can go check this out. These folks have actually built their search experiences, their destinations using the BOSS API. You'll notice Yahoo is not anywhere. There is no attribution for Yahoo whatsoever.
It'll be on in a second. Room for feedback loop to your index. So as people are developing these,
Right.
what do you call these?
Basically, it's a search experience. It can be a destination, whatever they want. There's really nothing to call it. All we're saying is that this is access to our technology. Think about what you can do with that. And there's obviously some stuff
like
like
building this and building sites
yeah.
for content and building those other.
Search monkey enhanced results.
Yeah.
Right.
How are you? So you're collecting information about how the new web is being used.
We definitely are on our site. Absolutely.
Right, and that's changing then indexing, right?
It's changing our models. It doesn't really change the index per se. It does change our models.
And what is the difference between model and index?
So the index is actually all the content, whether it's structured data, what have you, and data that we're putting into the index, so it can be searched. But then we have ranking models, we have various machine-based models that look at relevance and ranking. And so we look at data, how it's being used to tune those models.
So there's a whole bunch of users.
Using behavioral data and so forth.
Users,
Yeah.
like people, developers, the content people, are they getting live feedback from you? Is there a way to subscribe to
Oh, how this is performing?
this
All
new
day.
tagging and say, so that my site content is loaded up and I say, you guys do what you need to do to mark it up live?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. That's something that we're reporting basically for SearchMonkey. That's something that we're working on right now is to understand how we can make a very easy dashboard essentially for people to have reporting to see how the SearchMonkey applications enhance results.
The one last thing I would say, you are right as far as SearchMonkey in particular. SearchMonkey is about extending the index because we want to say, give us your feeds, help us understand your data better. And then we can get the right search users to you.
Are you the only ones doing this? Is Google doing something like this?
I mean, most of the search players have an API and they also have different ways that you can build a search experience. But in many cases, you have to take attribution from who provided it. You have to take ads. And you can't change the ranking, you can't reorder, you can't change the relevance model. We are saying you can rank and reorder all you want.
And what's missing in what I see as responsible part is your revenue model. How has that changed now?
So the revenue model on the BOSS side varies depending on your level of engagement. We have sort of 3 different levels. There's a sort of self-serve model where you can just take the API and build some crazy stuff. There are other levels of more custom partnerships where we'll help you get even more access to our search technology in terms of faceted navigation of your content, et cetera, et cetera. And depending both on what kind of partnership you're looking for, but our goal is to just be here. You can have this off the shelf and be able to go. For some of the other relationships, we'll talk. We'll figure out what the best way to do it. Basically, if you get enough scale, part of the goal is if you're successful, we'll be successful. That's part of the ecosystem, right? So at some point, if you get enough scale, either you can think about taking our ads, or we'll do some sort of pay per volume method. But we're flexible, and we can work with you to figure out what's best.
All right, I'm going to keep going.